So since I showed y'all how I make my nutritious oatmeal, and I told y'all in that video that Jamaicans do not make oatmeal like that, I felt it's only right that I show y'all how we make Jamaican oatmeal porridge. So I'm starting with a star anise. Growing up, we didn't use this, but I'm using it. And I'm showing you that I'm using cinnamon. The bottle says ground cinnamon, but it's cinnamon sticks. So I'm breaking off a piece of it. I'm not going to use the entire cinnamon because cinnamon is expensive, y'all. And it's just a small portion that I'm making, so I do not need the entire stick. Now I'm going to add a few cloves, about 3 cloves to the water. And then I'm going to add some ground nutmeg because this is the only one I had. If I had fresh nutmeg, like I like to grate the nutmeg over the pot myself, and normally we add the nutmeg after, but I'm adding it before and after. Now I'm preparing the oatmeal. This is steel cut oat, y'all, so it takes a while to cook. And at first I was going to use a small portion, then I was like, nah, let's use the whole little bit that's left in the bottle because I don't want to make this another day. It takes too long to cook, so I rather use my rolled oats every morning than the steel oat. I just add about a half a can of evaporated milk to the oats and I'm stirring it in. I'm adding a bit of nutmeg and then a pinch of vanilla. And I'm stirring it to incorporate it as well as to soften up this oat so it takes less time to cook. I'm going to let it sit as well. But normally I don't use some cow's milk because I try to stay away from dairy. Now the water is boiled and I'm just going to stir in the oatmeal and milk mixture. This thing is filled with spice, y'all. This is like a spice dessert, really. So here's where I made the big mistake. I wanted to let this slow cook and cover it. But crack the cover to prevent it from coming over. Here I am adding in the salt that I mentioned I forgot to add earlier. And as you can see, the stove is messy. Why? Because I didn't turn the stove down low enough and I didn't keep an eye on it, so it boiled over onto the stove, which will easily happen while making porridge. So you have to keep an eye on it. You have to keep on stirring it. When it's bubbling like that, you keep on stirring it. So I tested to see if it's soft, and it is. So I'm adding my sweeteners now. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. So after you add the sugar, you want to stir it in to make sure it's well incorporated. I like to use brown sugar because that's what I grew up on. Also, I love the way it makes the porridge taste and I love how it makes the porridge look. I also check the sweetness before adding the milk to make sure it's not too sweet. And then I go ahead and add in the condensed milk. This is the important part. You have to use condensed milk. I don't know why, but for me, you have to if you're going to make it the Jamaican way. It's unhealthy, but you just have to. Just add the amount that you prefer. If you don't want it too sweet, don't add too much. If you want it sweeter, add a little bit more. So after you add the milk, you want to go ahead and stir it some more to incorporate the milk to make sure it's like well combined. As you can see, it's very thick. So what I did was I took the kettle with some hot water and I add some water to it to loosen it up, just so I can have the porridge cook a little bit more. I don't mind the thickness because in the end, it's thick, it's creamy, it's delicious. I just wanted it to cook some more. So here you can see it's a little looser because I did add the water off camera. And then I can have the porridge cook a little bit more to get a little more softer and for all the ingredients to incorporate. Once it's done, pour it in a bowl and you have delicious breakfast. Thank you guys for watching. And that's how you make Jamaican oatmeal porridge. Add a little bit more cinnamon and nutmeg to the top and enjoy. Like and follow.